Long before modern cities spread across Nevada, the land was filled with ancient lakes, wandering tribes, and stories many believed were only myths. But hidden within the desert landscape lies a cave connected to one of the strangest legends in North American history. This is the mystery of Lovelock Cave. According to oral traditions passed down by the Paiute people, their ancestors once faced a powerful and dangerous enemy. This enemy tribe was unlike anyone they had encountered before. The Paiute called them the Si-Te-Cah. The name is believed to mean tule eaters, referring to plants that grew near the marshlands of ancient Nevada. But what truly made them legendary was their unusual appearance. Stories describe them as having reddish hair and towering height. At the time, the region looked very different than it does today. Thousands of years ago, a massive body of water known as Lake Lahontan covered much of the area. Along its shores, tribes lived, hunted, and built their communities. But conflicts between groups were sometimes inevitable. According to the legend, the Si-Te-Cah often attacked neighboring tribes. Eventually, several tribes joined forces to stop them, the cave where the final chapter of the story would unfold. Tribal warriors surrounded the entrance. Fires were lit near the opening. Smoke filled the cave, forcing those inside deeper into the darkness. For generations, this story was told and retold. Many historians believed it was simply folklore. But everything changed in the early 1900s. Miners searching for bat guano began digging inside the cave. What they discovered surprised everyone. Buried deep inside were ancient artifacts, baskets, tools, and hunting equipment, objects that had remained hidden for thousands of years. Soon, archaeologists were called to investigate. Excavations began revealing the cave's long history. Thousands of artifacts were eventually uncovered, making it one of the most important archaeological sites in the region. But some discoveries sparked new questions. Among the findings were large sandals. Some measured nearly 15 inches long, larger than typical footwear from ancient populations. This quickly caught attention. Could the legends contain some truth? Reports also mentioned reddish hair on some remains, which matched details from the Paiute stories. However, scientists later explained something important. Hair can change color over time due to minerals and age, meaning dark hair can appear reddish after thousands of years. Still, the mystery refused to fade. Researchers continued studying the artifacts. They confirmed that people had lived in the cave for thousands of years, but there was no confirmed evidence of actual giants. At least, none accepted by mainstream archaeology. Yet some researchers believe there may be more to the story, partly because early excavations were not carefully documented. Some discoveries may have been lost or misunderstood. Records from that time were incomplete, leaving behind unanswered questions. Across the world, many ancient cultures tell stories of giants, from legends in the Americas to myths in Europe and Asia. Some believe these stories may share a common origin, or exaggerated memories of ancient conflicts. But Lovelock Cave remains at the center of this debate, where ancient stories refuse to disappear and where history still holds secrets that may never be fully explained. Researchers continue to study what was discovered there, but the legend of the Lovelock Giants still lives on. And yet, the deeper researchers look into the past, the more questions begin to appear. Because Lovelock Cave is not just another archaeological site, it represents a moment where legend and discovery seem to intersect. For decades, historians debated the meaning behind the Paiute stories. Were the Si-Te-Cah truly giants, or simply a rival tribe remembered through legend? Some anthropologists believe the description of giants may have been symbolic. In many ancient cultures, enemies were often described as larger than life, stronger, taller, and more terrifying than they truly were. But others believe there may be more behind the stories, because legends of unusually tall people appear across many cultures around the world, from ancient myths to historical accounts passed down for thousands of years. And sometimes, legends begin with real events that slowly transform as generations retell the story. Another mystery surrounding Lovelock Cave involves the early excavations themselves. At the time, archaeology was far less careful than it is today. Miners were mainly focused on collecting guano for fertilizer. Artifacts were sometimes moved, sold, or even discarded, which means some discoveries may never have been properly recorded. And if that's true, the full story of Lovelock Cave might still be incomplete. But the mystery extends beyond the cave itself, because thousands of years ago, this region looked very different. Ancient Lake Lahontan once covered much of Nevada, creating wetlands full of wildlife and resources, an ideal place for early human groups to settle, and where people live, stories are born, stories of survival, conflict, and encounters with the unknown. Some researchers now believe multiple groups used Lovelock Cave over thousands of years, which could explain why the legends became so complex, because history rarely stays simple. It changes as time passes, and sometimes stories grow into mysteries. Today, modern technology is helping archaeologists revisit ancient sites like Lovelock Cave. Ground-penetrating radar and DNA research are revealing new clues. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding the past, but many questions still remain unanswered. Was the legend of the giants simply a story of war between tribes? Or could it be a memory of something history has yet to fully explain? Because sometimes, the greatest mysteries are the ones that refuse to disappear, hidden in stories, buried in caves, waiting to be rediscovered. And perhaps one day, a new discovery will finally reveal the truth behind the Lovelock Giants. What do you think? Were the stories about the Lovelock Giants simply legends passed down through generations? Or could they be based on something real that history hasn't fully explained yet? So what do you believe? Were the giants real? Thanks for watching. If you enjoy stories like this, mysterious discoveries, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. There are still countless mysteries waiting to be uncovered, and this is only the beginning. More mysteries are coming soon, only here on Forgotten Clues.